What's up, people, and welcome back to the channel. I'm trying to get, like I said, trying to get the video out every single day. So I want to do something a little bit different. This is not a market watch like I normally do. This is more of a product review where I'm going over the product Amazing Defenders right now. I'm not really going over anything like too hardcore, like exactly how much this and if it's going to be under under a bot set, underappreciated set. Like, should you go in this? Should you go in that? This is more of just me seeing that's gonna come out soon, and I guess wanted to give like my first thoughts, my first takes, and also I guess my opinion on what are gonna be some of the potential like better cards. Try to pick out some of these prices, or even also predict if some of the new decks in here are gonna be good. So without trying to get too much into it. Let's go ahead and just get into this thing right here. So we got Amazing Defenders going to come out, I believe at the end. I believe next week. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out next week. And right off the bat, you see right here, 1-for-1. I really like this card being here because like it was getting to the point where the commons were $1. We'll get into that more later. But like this is a cool collector's rare. This is I like when they make collector's rares of like really good one-ofs that aren't like super like that aren't played in every single deck but are played in some strategies, because it does give it does give a little value to that set, to where this card where I don't get too much. I'm going to got a whole other thing. You got this got this other all this other stuff, and I'm even gonna try to pronounce some of these names. They'll give me a heart attack. But yeah, you got the box right here going for about $59. So it's like $60. I'm gonna expect this to fall to like maybe like 50. I'm thinking like it's gonna be around like $50 for this for the box to, yeah, about $50 for the box, more or less. And this is the Pearly. I'm just gonna go and stop right there. Yeah, Pearly. This is I guess a little cutesy card coming in the set. It's coming pretty high. It's probably gonna it's probably gonna fall. I do see this being I do see this being something that is gonna hold a bit of value, just because it's like it's cutesy. I think it's right here in the cover, here in the pack, so it'll be holding like a bit of value, but for the most part, it'll just kind of stick around to like where it's at. And Infernoble, Renault, yes, yeah, yeah, that's how you pronounce that, Renault. He's in here too, which is pretty good. Like, there's a lot of there's not a lot of too many Infernoble Knight cards in here, but it's pretty good to see them actually getting actually coming out. Just right here too, the Immortal Phoenix Giftfried. This is not like the best card, so it's not like, oh yeah, that's great, but it was a card that that had like a little bit of value. And yeah, we'll just click on it real quick. Let's see. I'll go to all versions right here. Yeah, see, like you got this, the Toon Chaos, ultra rare right here. It's probably what, 850. It was probably going for maybe like $15 before all this happened. Yeah, because you got get a first edition for around 13. Yeah, to like 11. So yeah, so it was pretty high, but then I mean, pretty high for the card it is. They're not really getting used in any kind of decks, but it is good to see cards like that getting reprinted, because without checks like that, then the things end up going crazy. I know there's a lot of people that don't really enjoy the fact that, oh, like, I don't like, I don't want to invest in certain parts of Yu-Gi-Oh, or you shouldn't do this, or I don't like that I buy a card at $25 a copy, and then it gets a year later it's literally like $1, or like one of the cases of some cards where it's like it's like I guess some the worst. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm very much trying not to go on these crazy tangents, but I guess the whole point of what I'm trying to say is it's not the worst for Konami, especially in the state it's in right now, to over reprint some of these cards, especially when they reprint the right ones. Like, if they're gonna give us like 7 copies of freaking Monster Reborn in a row, then no, that's not good. But if they want to do that with Raigeki, then that's like, okay, then like, that's not the best, but it's better than just getting something like that. So like there is some benefit to getting some of these cards getting reprint over and over again. Then when they become relevant, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. So this is like a good step. So hopefully these won't be like so much. All these stuff is gonna really be coming down. None of this is really gonna hold. I kind of think that I think it being at $3 right now, this is probably gonna be like a dollar super, yeah, super, maybe even lower. This could even go to like 50 cents, 30 cents. The one for on the super rare. This one right here, I think will be a very interesting penny stock. Like I really feel that people are going to see this and like kind of like not really think too much about it, and then just slowly it'll kind of start coming back into favor. Kind of similar to Allure of Darkness. Like like whenever Allure of Darkness gets reprinted, it kind of goes like the version is very cheap, and that's kind of when I start picking a whole bunch up. Just start picking them up, and then they slowly kind of work their way to like $3 to $5, and then you could offload them then. So this, I'm not saying these will go $3 to $5, but these could kind of go up. Making these might go down to like 10 cents a copy, 50 cents a copy, and at that point you pick a couple up, maybe even like good little stack of them, and they could kind of go back to this price point, maybe even like $2. So we'll kind of have to see on that one. Yeah, and like from here, it's more of like like the stuff, the actual things that are actually in there. The main thing that I'm actually interested in from this set, besides some of the reprints, is mostly the Rescue Ace. There we go. You got the Rescue Ace. Here, here's more of the collector rare stuff. I'll go over the collector rare stuff in a different Market Watch thing. But this is not really Market Watch. Kind of just go over the Rescue Ace. I really do feel like the Rescue Ace could be something. It like a lot of people say that they are missing like one more good spell in Trap, but it's kind of like well, are we sure? Because everyone kind of said the same thing about the Magical Musketeers, to where it's like, oh, it's like they're really good. And they are really good, like rogue deck. Like you could catch people off guard, but there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, it's like they just they need a good extra deck monster, and they kind of like they're basically this is also around the time of like Spiral. People are kind of this is well, not around the time of Spiral. This is after the Spiral era, to where people were basically everyone's convinced that once you give an archetype a good, like all you need to do is give an archetype one good extra deck monster, and it'll make the archetype automatically playable, minimum, basically mimicking what happened with Spiral. And to an extent that is true. Like there are some cases of, yeah, like this link monster that comes out, or this specific extra deck monster could help them or would help them. But also, there's also a lot of cases to where no, that's not really true. Like you have like the one. Yeah, I think there's a perfect case. For example, would be the Six Samurai link monster. Like it literally searches, the freaking it'll search the really good continuous spell like directly to your hand, and in Six Samurai hasn't done really nothing. Well, I'm not, well, Six Samurai decks probably use it, but Six Samurai doesn't have it top. Is like what the point I'm trying to say. So I'm not I'm so like I really feel like if this deck isn't really like, depending on how it hits and how it reacts in our meta, because it is very different from the OCG. Like this deck could be decent in the OCG or really good, and it comes over here and it's like trash. So depending on how it kind of operates here in in our meta in the TCG, this could either be a big hit or a big flop. So I don't know. I'm someone who was there when the Magical Musketeers dropped, and it really hurt me when they like it not only hurt me like like kind of like I was like, oh man, this really sucks, but like hurt me like financially, because I spent a pretty good amount of money to to get them. Although I did get lucky with some things by pulling some stuff out of packs, but like you can only get so lucky. So like I at one point had to stop and just had to start getting all the stuff I need, and it ended up not really paying out for me. So I really don't want to sit there and just say, yep, this is going to be crazy, this is all going to be good. But yeah, kind of just like look out. And like I said, a lot of this is kind of the the filler stuff, and that being rescues either the Hydrant or this one is the Searcher. Not 100% sure. The Gizmek stuff, that was actually a pretty good surprise to come in here. I kind of like that it's here rare. Give more copies of it. This is another card that at any moment could just shoot up in price. I was actually gonna mention it in my Market Watch yesterday, but when I saw that I was getting its reprint, I was like, okay, well, no, like I'm not gonna mention it no more, because I was gonna mention this as a potential card to go into. But no, I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, it is gonna get reprinted. So it's actually good thing I didn't even good thing I checked. So yeah. All right. So after that little haphazard little review, I guess like overall the set doesn't look. I'm gonna give. I don't want to give like a like an exact number, you feel me? So maybe I'll be a little lenient. But the set doesn't look too crazy. There's not like really amazing collector's rares. There are some good cards. I'm gonna go over some of this stuff. So there might be some hidden gems, but they might only be hidden gems simply because not a lot of people pick up the set. I'm in no way calling this like, oh, you know, like hoarded, or this is going to be under ordered and there won't be enough, blah blah blah. But if it happens, I would not be surprised. So I don't know. I guess on first glance, I want to give this set like, like a 4 to 5 out of 10. Pretty low. Like it isn't like, I don't want to just call it. Yeah, it's called a solid 5 out of 10. Like it isn't bad, like just horrible, because it does have some potential. Like it does have potential, but also at the same time, like seeing like it's like if you look at all the cards that are getting reprinted and looking at what these decks have to go up against. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a 5. If I'm down to change my change my little I'm down to change it and give it more. If if the Rescue Ace comes out and it just becomes a really hard hitting deck and people just underestimate it and now it's really hard to get it, and Rescue Ace is like a tier 1 or like a rogue strategy, and that's really useful, maybe I could bring it up. But to be honest, I'm just gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's pretty mid. All right, talking about some of the better stuff. So now I'm gonna end it on more of a high note. That's kind of how I'm gonna format these videos. I'm gonna talk about the set. I'm go over it, give it my rating, and then after that, I'm gonna end on a high note of what I think are the good parts of the set and the good things that come out of the set. Aside from the Rescue Ace cards, like like I said, Rescue Ace is a little unproven, so we'll see how they do. So aside from that, are the reprints. I do like that they reprinted 1-for-1, because if you look here, like even my own personal experience with posting cards online, like every time I come across 1-for-ones, every time I'm going through bulk, every time I see one, I always put them aside because I know that they're like $1. So like a lot of these, like I'll always say 87 cents, 79 cents, but like those are probably like like a mod play. There's a lot of mods, a lot of heavies. If you just want like a light play or like a mint condition one, you're paying this market price right here. So this was slowly becoming a card that was like, no matter how many copies were out there, the lowest you were getting it for was $1. There was no way, there was really like no way around that unless it was like a beat up copy. If you wanted a nice copy and didn't want to, just didn't want to deal with, something, that didn't look nice, and you wanted something, nice in your deck, then you would have to get it. If you found this, you could probably, trade it, for $1, and people would probably think you're dumb with it and look it up and say, okay, yeah, well, it actually is, it is worth $1. You'd be surprised on how many people actually need 1-for-1 randomly, but yeah, it does happen. Okay, so I saw that this card, the Ascended, the Ancient and Ascended is getting a reprint. I am very glad that I was able to offload the the whole bunch I had. I had about 2 pages of these, that I collected, that I've been like slowly kind of acquiring over a couple of years, because I thought it was gonna be the next big hit, and it never did. And then it got the reprint, so I started collecting some of the reprints, got some more secrets, and then these things kind of shot up, and then now that the reprint's here, so I'm glad I offload them. But this is actually good. It's good that more copies exist, because you want to have more copies of obscure cards like this, because you never know when they become useful, and this is a situation where, okay, yeah, it's good that we get these reprints. Alright, Gizmek Orochi, the Silverstone Sky Slasher. I am happy. I'm going to say that a lot in these videos. I'm happy this got a reprint. This is a card that it's hollow. This is a card to where it could creep up and kind of catch you by surprise. But now something that I'm seeing is that, like, you now have like 4 copies of this card. Is there ever going to be a deck or a strategy that's going to come out and make this card go up again? I don't know, because in all honesty, I would love to have some of these ultras on hand, just in case something like that happened. Like, these secrets are the secrets. Maybe I might look into this. I am going to be putting on a video about more cards that I'm currently going to invest in. I'll probably, depending on how how people feel, and if I get their permission, I'll probably kind of do like a live thing of talking to people and trying to buy cards. If not, just get like a vlog style video of me buying different stuff and trying to fill up the investment binder. I just uploaded a whole bunch of stuff and just got rid of it so we could open it up and just do these new investments together. And this is the card that I'm looking at it now, and it wasn't originally. I didn't know, but I'm giving it a second look, and then it's like it depends how I go into it. It actually might be a decent choice. All right, so Peri race map. This card actually, when it first came out, was surprisingly like high. I think it was going for like $3 to $4, maybe even $5 at one point. But I remember just pulling like a whole bunch of these and kind of getting bummed. And then after a while, they're like, oh, they're worth money. I had a cool little stack like 7 or 8. And it was just wild to see that like something like this was just kind of going up, because I was also like, I think the better card would have been like, I don't even remember exactly at this point. I just remember randomly seeing that it was going up. Yeah, starting main phase, add a monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand, but have your life point added to your hand until the end of the next turn. This card activate, you cannot activate. What's your effect? Oh, okay, so it was a 0 attack searcher. I see. Because I was about to say like the better card to run was Small World, but then I was like, wait, hold up. This card wasn't like Small World. It was just like, it was just kind of like it's like if you were small rolling into a monster with 0 attack, I guess this would be like the better one. But I guess I don't know. For me, I never really needed it, and I never really tried to look into why other people needed it, and just knew that it was going for like $3. So like I said, this is another card that just randomly sneaks up. It's getting its reprint, so hopefully it'll stay down. And the last card I want to talk about that I'm happy I was getting its reprint is Isolde. Why am I happy? Because this card has the potential to be broken at a drop of a hat. Literally, anytime Konami wants to Konami could do one of three things. They could either A, unleash cards on the ban list to make certain warrior decks good again. B, put the game into a state to where a combo deck comes out that is able to abuse Isolde. Or the third option is they straight up release a new warrior archetype that uses Isolde to create some badass freaking combo. So Konami essentially at any moment with multiple different scenarios can make Isolde really, really good, and I'm glad that they gave us another copy. It is super, so it's going to be the same as as this one, and you're still gonna have like the higher rarity. But if you see right here, like this card has been holding its value. I think for a while the soldies were like $7, maybe and I think in their heyday they were 12s, but I think a Solde was like holding that 7. So seeing it here at the 493, like price point for the ultra is pretty good. Like it hasn't really dropped that much. Having this other rarity here is pretty good. If this thing drops to like super low, I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of these, because like I said, at any moment, boom, this becomes good. These go away. This becomes the last option, or maybe even kind of invest in this one. I have no idea. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's pretty much that's it. Amazing Defenders. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. It's like I said, there's nothing horrible about it, but at the same time, there's nothing that just amazing about it. You have the Rescue Ace, and the Rescue Ace do have potential, but just because the deck has potential doesn't mean it just means that it's gonna carry a set. There's a lot of stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh that quote unquote has potential that has done absolutely nothing. So we're gonna see the fate of this deck, and that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, that's it. Thought I had something to say. I always do that, but I don't. All right. Till then, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.